Yep.
There we are. I forgot to click on the extra microphone. Okay.
And the other one is here too. Perfect for live streaming.
So welcome to our Friday night live stream. We haven't streamed in like 2-3 weeks because the first week we didn't. We had a party on Friday evening, so we simply forgot and couldn't. The second week was because we were doing so. Oh, we were flying to. We were traveling or flying to. No, we were preparing to fly to Cleveland.
I think
to
it was
Vegas. Sorry, Vegas, and then we had VidCon, of course. So.
Might have been longer. It was really busy, so.
Oh,
Hey,
I made a tiny mistake in the.
In the what?
In the.
Can we show something with this?
Yeah, one sec.
How does this work?
1 sec. It works like this.
Like magic?
It should.
Alright, let's show the kitties. Since
Here.
you guys haven't seen them in a while.
If you can hold that up so you can show them, I can actually try to fix it really quick.
Alright, I'll show you kitties. Hi!
So yeah, actually we had plans to trade in the camera that we temporarily have, which is a
Don't destroy it.
which is a Canon PowerShot 350. It's one of the models that we used to have beforehand. This is the latest one, and we have a slight problem with it. Sarah, I'm sure if you can come over here and show it. So when you turn it on, this happens. And we haven't dropped it. It's been 3 days old, and I don't know why it happens. So if I have another reason to bring it back, then that was definitely it. But yeah, it sucks because I rather have a working camera that we can use temporarily. Right now the G7X is still in repair, which kind of sucks, but hey, that's just how life is, I guess. Let's see. There we go. But yeah, welcome. Let's talk a little bit about what we did last week. We flew to Vegas and we traveled to LA for VidCon. We visited some places. We saw some friends here and there. So over the course of like an hour or so, we'll talk about like past week's events and what might come up soon, depending on if we get to that point.
Well, we should. There are a couple of questions from people.
Uh-huh. Are you good?
I think I'm good. I just stopped.
Okay.
Here.
Well, it technically doesn't really stop unless you
Well,
close
I
the
stopped on pause.
Okay, that's good. Well, welcome to the people in the chat, of course. I already saw...
We should have made an
time.
announcement earlier. Sorry, guys, we didn't really announce the live stream. But I wasn't sure if he wants to do it, and we were out. And then it was like,
well, we had more time than I had planned. We needed more time than we had planned, really, for the live stream. Because normally if we do start, we start between 5 and 7. Which 7 is like the max I want to start because it's already late for like the European viewers. So I hate not being able to provide live stream live for you guys when it's like 2 or 1 at night.
So yeah, if you guys have questions about what we did, like VidCon or who we met or whatever, leave them in the chat. We will also talk about our situation right now, what we're looking into. A couple of you guys probably have seen our Facebook posts today already. We were looking into like cargo companies, like whatever they're called. That's the main issue. I'm not 100% sure how they're called. So looking for them is kind of hard. Yeah.
What do you have there? Oh, yes, it's like drug-filled pillow.
Oh. Okay, back to kitties. Super distraction.
Yeah, start talking, that's fine. I'll just like have these in the corner. Let's remove my dirty ass shoe over there. There we go.
Oh, and it was cute.
It
just
is.
put it down, put it there, and just leave it
Not
there.
sure if I can.
You can. There you go, guys.
Kitty cam.
Kitty cam. You don't need to see us. This is way better. Oh my god, this is so cute. Wait, we should
Just give it a sec because Finn is not jumping down.
We're doing the live stream right now and we have a kitty cam down
Oh
there.
dear.
Uh-oh, oh my god. It's happening down there.
Nothing is safe anymore.
What? Just keep it down there. It was a really cool picture. Just put it down there again. Come on. You can do it. Anyways. Hi to the jet. Look here. It's really cute. Wait, a kitty cam. Uh-oh. Come back. Dude, Seriously. So, the reason why we flew to Las Vegas is one, it was cheaper, and we had no problems whatsoever when we flew.
Yeah, we
from
flew
Cleveland
with
to Las Vegas.
Spirit Airlines this time, which is actually the first time I've ever flown or heard about them.
Yeah.
Which is one of those really cheap airlines that makes you pay for everything that you want extra. So if you just intend to fly from A to B and you don't have anything else with you in the backpack, perfect.
I mean, the first flight we didn't do seat arrangements or like pick our seats, so was kind of surprised we were behind the exit row.
Yeah,
it was actually enough space whatsoever. The plane was clean. It was awesome, and because the exit rows were not booked, they actually asked us if we want to move forward, and then we had like space, and yeah, no problems with that flight. So I was like really surprised because everybody was complaining about Spirit Airlines. We had no problem on the flight there. You see, there's a story that's coming later. So because Jurre and Josh hadn't seen Las Vegas yet, we did a little tour. We basically walked up and down the strip. So
not even really for the gambling part, just because Vegas is massive, and you should probably have at least experienced it once when it comes to seeing stuff, because there's a lot to see in Vegas in general. So yeah, we took about a day or so to just have some fun, just walk around.
It's okay.
I'm trying to make it work. Let's see. Hey. Kitty cam.
Yeah, it's about 20,000 steps for walking up and down the strip, which translates to, good question, like 10 miles maybe? Bit less. What?
I just love kitty cam. No one cares. We're basically just doing gaming with them with kitties.
That's
so,
true.
can we just... Is that actually getting like a way of, like, is that a new angle? Just like have a webcam on kitties,
maybe,
and at the same time just talk about stuff. I like that.
It's like gaming vlogs. I
can
guess.
just cheers you up to.
It's almost like Fan Friday, what Jessica does.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
Just that we're doing it live.
What are you up to, dude?
Just stay there, dude. Seriously.
But yeah, it's a long walk, and if I'm honest, if you're not into gambling, after a day or so, I was pretty much done with Vegas. But if you do want to walk around and actually participate a little bit in, like, even look at small-time gambling, or just like some slot machines here and there,
there's
you should definitely go inside. Oh dear. You should have to go inside.
Kitty attack. We're pushing.
You should definitely just go to the.
The thing is, Vegas has
casinos.
A lot of shows and stuff, and if you want to see Cirque du Soleil, for example, you can see it in 5 or 6 different locations and 3 casinos, like hotels and stuff. And I don't know, there's so many Cirque du Soleil shows.
Yeah, there are at least like 3 right now, I think. There was one that was the original show or something. Then there's like some half-naked nonsense.
Yeah.
And then you have, I think, something else. I don't know.
I don't know. It seems
it's
like
kind
to
of
be
cool
in
though,
every corner. And what I think is cool, there's one casino which I haven't seen before, and they have all the Food Network stars and so on and so on. It's basically like you can go there and have breakfast from that cook, like chef, and then from the other one, whatever. So that's really cool. And Gordon Ramsay obviously is there and stuff like that. So that's stuff I'm more interested in. But yeah, you can spend probably 2 days in Vegas, but after that you're probably like, meh. If you don't have to work there or whatever, or are there for gambling or conference, you're probably
can
like...
you set it up pointing towards the door?
Sure.
So they can see our dirty ass laundry?
Sure. Hi.
There we go.
What?
I can see the corner, but okay.
What?
It will do. No, you're looking at a lag now.
Oh. Better?
Yeah. Maybe I should, like, put away my dirty ass underwear.
That's not the underwear, that's just a t-shirt.
It doesn't matter.
Oh
it's
my
dirty.
God, guys. Man.
Both of y'all.
Where's the other one?
I just jumped out. Okay.
Well, that's not what we planned to do. There's a leg, there are 2 legs. And a puss cat. There we go. Just sit like this. Sit with me. Be pretty. There we go.
I made myself really hard just walking around here, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Oh my God, he's so cute.
It's like, stop filming me.
He's happy. Look at his tail, he's not rattling.
That is true.
I think he's about to purr. Something's moving inside.
It's kind of hard to set up a kitty cam.
That's okay, no more kitties for you guys.
Well, if they sit down somewhere close by, I can put the camera down or something.
Yeah, so from Vegas, I wanted to show them Route 66 because I've done it before and they haven't. Technically, everything we did, they haven't done yet, besides VidCon.
Yeah.
Right? Well, we went to Venice Beach.
Yeah.
So Route 66 was kind of fun, especially like the penny boarding on the actual old Route 66.
Yes, it was one of the parts that was actually nice and smooth.
Yeah.
And
it was
really, really hot.
It was so crazy warm. Every time you went into like a air-conditioned room, sweat just started dripping. It's ridiculous. And
basically you start condensating, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Just attract moist.
That's just wrong. And there was actually a crater where I wanted to take those two because I didn't do it really last time, but they stayed in the car because it was so warm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like air conditioning, so that's fine.
Maybe next time, whenever that will be. And we went to the Bottle Tree Ranch, which was awesome.
Yeah,
the guy was still there.
In like every documentary or every program about Route 66, you see that particular part of it. It's cool. It's not that impressive as I thought it would be, to be honest, but it was cool.
Well, I mean, the guy is very chilled and everything. And then we went to Big Bear Lake, which is like 7,000 feet above ground sea level.
Yes.
And imagine that, 7,000, and then we drove down to 0 to sea level. That was
so basically
kind of
we drove
interesting.
Up at night, not knowing how steep it was.
Oh yeah, it was ridiculous. And we were driving, it just went like this.
We actually a fun part. We had a rental car called Bertha.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watch the vlog, you actually know about this already. But Bertha was a car that was not meant for going anywhere other than like grocery shopping, and the poor thing was yelling at us the entire way out of exhaustion, and she didn't like going anywhere. But yeah, it was a fun challenge. We went upstairs, and then the next morning when we drove, it was really nice, really sunny, and really up, really high. My ears were clogged for a solid hour going down the mountain again. But yeah, it was fun. I legitimately had a lot of fun doing that.
Ow, that's my bone, you bitch.
He's a little bit of a dick, isn't he?
Up. There you go.
So I see some questions in the chat already about like the 90 days, about the visa. So I don't want to go into too deep because I don't want to ruin my mood. It's just very down if I'm honest about it. But
we should talk about it. Maybe someone has a solution or idea for us.
So if you haven't followed us for like a solid month and a half to 2 months, or even seen, if you're only watching the live streams, which I don't think most of you guys do actually. I assume that you guys watch the vlogs too, so you know some parts.
Yeah, but most people don't watch every vlog. So
yeah,
they might have missed something.
About 2 months ago by now.
Yeah.
Sara's work basically told her that in a couple of months, which is now mid-September, they're going to remove her position as a videographer entirely. That means that she has to find a new job, or we have to leave when our visa runs out, because the only good thing about this is that they at least gave us just enough time to find a potential different company. The only downside of it is that we need a real company that has people working for it, and needs to be a full-time position as a videographer right now. And that's very hard because we have been looking for the last 2 months, and before we left to VidCon, we took an entire day, or actually almost a week, to message as many things as possible. At this point, we don't even care where it is in the US as long as it's not in the middle of the desert or like in the middle of nowhere.
I don't care. It can be Nebraska if you can stay.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that. But yeah, if that is an option, then definitely that is something. But We have so far not have had many success.
So here's the thing. My profiles are also on like Monster and LinkedIn and whatever, and I get a lot of like, "Hey, we have a job for you" things, but they're all for sales position, and
They're
I'm
basically
so
scamming positions.
mad now. I'm so mad now because every time I get that, it's like, "We're so impressed by your resume. Do you want to start in our sales?" Blah blah. They didn't even read my resume. They just see, "Hey, she's in Columbus. Let's ask her. She needs a job. Here, do our sales thing."
Yeah.
I can't work as a salesperson.
Well,
One, I'm not I'm not capable, and number two,
I don't think
someone needs to take over my visa as a video producer. I can't do like sales. That doesn't work.
So right now, both our visas are dependent on her work, of course, as you guys know. So it will be mid-September when the visas officially run out without extension. If we find a new company, we have to file for extension directly, which would give us usually at least 3 more years while she works for the company, of course.
Well, people asked if we could ask Jessica. The thing is, at the beginning I was like joking, like, "Hey, Jessica," it actually would be an awesome fit because I could help her with filming and he could help her and editing and even with her deli, but... the thing is, she has a company, but she doesn't make enough revenue, so the immigration office would say no. I can tell you that directly because her business is not big enough.
And she doesn't have enough employees working for her, so that's another reason.
Yeah. It would be awesome. I would totally love it. I would move to Alpena, although they have freaking long winters and freaking cold winters, but we would have enough stuff to do and no people up there. So that would be awesome.
Before we continue on, I already see someone in the chats mentioning the 500K. If you paid attention and you actually watched and read the video and the description that came with it, it's not about getting $500,000. It's about finding a job, first of all, which is the most important part. But right now, the immigration system is set up in such a way, the only way that we are in control over a visa, which is the investor visa, is a minimum of $5,000 of investment.
500,000.
Oh, 500,000, sorry. $500,000 of investing in either our own company, which we don't have, because that would mean that we are not able to work for our own company because that's how it is set up. But if we invest in a company, that would mean that we get at least for a year to start with it's called basically green card, but it's basically a visa that allows you to oversee your investment.
The thing is, we could found a company right now. We would just have to throw whatever $100 for signing the company up. That's it. But since we're not American, we can't work for it. Yep. And we can't give ourselves a visa over it, so that doesn't work. But with the 500,000, we could even found a company, let's say it like this, but we have to employ 10 Americans. So what most people don't understand when they see, "Oh, she wants $500,000, blah, 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 why are you asking for money?" We don't actually ask for the money. We just want to show how ridiculous it is. Because right now, we have the equipment, we have the manpower, we even have people asking us if we could shoot stuff for them. Yeah. Seriously, I'm not kidding. If I go back to Europe, I'm like, I don't know what to do. Yeah. Because nobody would ask us to shoot stuff. Here, people are, seriously, they're friends, there are other people, they're like, "Hey, could you do?" We are like, "Sorry, can't."
Okay, to cut this story off really quickly, it's not easy to just say or find a company or find a secret TV station. Trust me, we have tried places like that. They don't care, besides the fact they can find an American who can do the position fairly easy because it's a low-level job usually that TV stations want. Besides that fact, we haven't given up yet. We have at least another month before we really have to worry about everything. So actually, since yesterday, we started looking at solutions to if we have to move back, to bring certain things to Europe, of course, because we do have belongings. Will mean that we are not able to bring everything. Actually, we were not able to bring a lot of things. But yeah, that's one of the things we're looking into now in order to
well, the main thing is
find a way to at least get stuff back.
The main thing is bringing the kitties, but that shouldn't be a problem since the US is and the vets here have the whole agreement, whatever going on. Normally, if you're in a country that is not in the whatever thing they have going on, you need to do that 3 months before. But our kitties are up to date with their vaccination and rabies and whatever, so we should be fine. We have an appointment mid of August, and I'm trying to find how could you call them, a company that helps us moving our stuff, and I'm actually thinking about bringing our stuff to New York because there's a harbor, obviously, and then they can just ship it to European harbor like Rotterdam or whatever, and we just pick it up there. Obviously there's always customs, there's always blah blah, so yeah, but to
Okay, I think we should be back. Wow, it's blue.
Whoa. Guys, what was the last thing you actually heard? Because I see comments about the cats and so on, and I thought we talked about this. So
That's better.
All right. There we
It
go.
will probably adjust slowly, but yeah.
Okay. Ow. So yes, we looked into the whole cats thing. So right now we just have to get the right airline so we can take them on board, because we would rather have them on board than in the cargo. Might not happen, but there are in between things where you can actually go to your pets during the flight, however that works.
Yeah.
We'll see about that, so should be okay.
Yeah, but that's one of those things that we're now currently looking into. Even if it's not going to happen, I hope not. I mean, the best thing right now is we find something and we're able to start the transfer of position. So other than that, that's currently what we're currently looking into, in case we do have to go, that we are way prepared before we have to actually start looking at our flights and start looking at the actual things that we have to pack.
Yeah, the thing is, most of the shipping companies, they also do it once per month, so we are kind of tight there. So we need to figure it out in August in case we have to go back.
Yeah,
I still hope for that miracle.
If we hit September, it's pretty much already too late. So that's one of those things. Yeah. So other than that, let's go back to VidCon, because I don't want to talk about this too long because it makes me a little bit down, like I said, and I don't like to talk about this kind of stuff. We're sharing already way too much that others probably wouldn't, I think. But yeah, VidCon was pretty fun. I have to admit that. It was warm. It was humid at points because, weirdly enough, we went from desert to city, and we actually had fun because we drove directly from the mountain to
Big Bear Lake was fun, by the way. It's
full-screen office.
It's kind of a winter resort place, and I mean, I still like it. It was online, and that was
they
kind of
moved about 2 months ago.
Yeah, so we were at the wrong place, and I actually asked a security guy at the studio stand. He's like, I think they moved. He was really friendly and everything. So luckily Michelle and Howard were there too, so they asked and gave us the new address and stuff. Yeah. So it was pretty cool. And full screen obviously just moved in, so they are still like in between, I would say. I mean, they're fully set up, but they still have room for expansion and stuff. So did you like it there?
You mean the office or the area?
The area?
The area is awful. It's too busy.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it.
I like it.
It's too much.
No, I like the area full screen and YouTube is because there's nothing right now. The streets were empty. Come on. Remember the crossing that never switched to green?
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure that was just a moment of the day. I cannot expect that to be that empty all the time.
Well, right
Everything
now
else
it
is
is.
just
As soon as they actually build up the rest of the offices there. Okay. It was kind of funny because we drove towards the building and Jurre's like, oh, that's where Funhouse is. So we actually found it directly, which was cool. And after that, I was like, hey, the Creator Center YouTube Creator Space is directly next to it, which I didn't know.
Also expected to be bigger, not in length, but in depth. Because they make it seem much larger than it really is to me.
They have a lot of stuff in there. However, they didn't let us in because you have
it's YouTube. That's just how that works.
So dumb.
Yeah, so for everyone who ever wanted to go to YouTube or Google, make an appointment beforehand.
Or have like 1 million subscribers.
Because this is just how it is, because I would do it the same way as a company like that. they have rules basically in place where, and I have had a lot of visits to Google offices and YouTube spaces in the past, so I know kind of how it is when you don't have actual access, because this is how it works. There are a lot of glass doors or very heavy metal doors, and if you're not supposed to be past that door, you're not getting in. Regardless of who you are and what your purpose is, if you don't have clearance for it, you're not getting in.
Unless you have 1 million subscribers.
No, even then.
No, you get in.
Yeah, well,
I'm pretty sure you
I'm
get
not
in.
talking. I'm not talking about the physical space. I'm talking about the doors.
I'm talking about the doors. That guy actually there was one of the guys that finally came out and was like,
security
wow,
guard.
wow, wow, wow.
He's basically his
he
job.
He gave us a list
yeah.
and basically said, here are the requirements. You have to be part of the academy, like learn how to make videos and stuff. And we're like,
basically very patronizing when it came to things. But it's his job to assume that you're nobody, because there are probably a lot of people showing up there who do.
We've done like over 1,000 videos for YouTube. So.
If not more by now. Well, we have done more, but yeah. It's very funny. So if you want to go to like the YouTube space in LA, for instance, just make sure you go online and just book a tour.
So Veronica just said in the comments, you could take vacation in Sweden and live in my apartment with my kitty for 3 months, because she is actually going to Texas for 3 months. I would even consider that right now if we have to go back.
I guess.
Sweden is pretty.
Sweden is pretty.
Maybe we should talk about that.
About what?
Living in our apartment. I mean, you're still renting it, I guess? Cody. You can do that, alright? Maybe we should.
We'll talk about it. But let's
yeah. So, after full screen, we went... we found our hotel and everything, and we actually returned our rental car. Bertha was terrible.
No, Bertha was not made for going on the road. She was meant to be going from down the street to up further up the street, and that's it. Yeah. Maybe carry like 2 bags of groceries, because that is probably even too much.
Oh man. I don't even know how we made it up that mountain.
We barely didn't. If for those who know a little bit about cars, on average, your car will be running between 2,000 and 3,000 RPM, which is like the big counter that goes up a lot. It shouldn't go higher than that for a long period of time. Bertha was running about 4,000 to 5,000 RPM for a solid hour going up the hill and then going down the hill. I think we went from from going, because the car on average should be like a very high mileage car, because it doesn't have much gas in it to begin with. It should go between 25 to 30 miles per gallon. Mm-hmm. It went from that, which I easily hit sometimes, to I think 14 miles to the gallon going uphill. So I ruined so much gas just from going up that mountain, and then back down when you hit like 48 or something. It was ridiculous, because we only had to brake, really. That was the cool part about it. So what we spent on gas going up, we basically gained back from going down. So that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, VidCon itself this year was not as crazy as I thought it would have been, because of... Well, I mean, not as like fangirl.
Oh yeah, madness. It was just fangirls. I was actually taller than most of them.
Well, I do have to admit,
for the first time, I actually could look over the crowd.
Yes, I have to agree. There are a lot of girls, like a lot of young teens, who are just there to see 2 people, probably, which is strongly advised not to go for just for that, because you're guaranteed not to see those persons in the...
Doesn't matter, it's your only shot you have. If you sit alone at home, you will never see them. There you have the chance to actually see them. Okay. So I think it's a good thing that they actually try to.
So compared to my experience from, well, by now 3 years prior, 3 years ago, I still kind of like it, but it's only because of the fact that they now have added the second and third floor with badges. So 99% of people there are community badges, which are red cards. They will never show up on the second floor. So most people who have a creator pass already are like able to just escape the crowd part of it. And then you have the industry pass, which is even more expensive. I did see a couple of people like very young kids walking around with an industry pass. I'm like, did your parents pay $400 plus to get a badge in order for you to stalk a couple of YouTubers? Because that's sad and it's wrong. It's wrong, so wrong.
The thing is, I went to VidCon 11, 12, 13, and 15.
Yeah.
And 11, I actually bought an industry pass back then, but it was useless. So the next following years...
That's true. The previous years, it felt pretty useless to buy an industry pass.
So the next years I bought Community, and this year was, I think, the first year where they actually had Community, Creator, and Industry.
Yeah.
And... I think it's okay, but some stuff wasn't accessible for the creators, although it was accessible for community, where I was like, that's weird.
Like signings?
No, not necessarily signings, but some sort of panels or something. I don't know, I can't remember.
I believe that everything was available.
Not everything. Some stuff wasn't available, and I was like, that's weird.
I did not see any of that.
Yeah, that's fine, because... You didn't really.
I wouldn't care about that anyways.
Yeah,
because all the actual panels that we did see, we didn't see much, but the panels that we did see were all creator or industry, and industry were mainly like industry people too, like big companies or big names that I don't need to see unless I want to see a TED Talk, for instance.
Anyways, I think it's better organized. It actually has value even for like industry and creator.
Well,
I mean, the creator stuff I went to panels. They didn't talk about anything new. It's just nice to see people actually moving and talking in front of you.
Here's the problem with me going to a panel. Or both of us going to a panel. We have been doing YouTube for online media for, almost at least 8 years, if not more. Let's say, give or take 8 years, which is a long time. Like, that's really, really long. I have been at least at 12 different YouTube/Google related talks, which I was invited to come and just learn some stuff. Besides the fact that I'm an active YouTuber and I do daily vlogs in this case, so I have to engage with whatever the hell I'm doing for so long that all of these talks are not interesting to me or I already know about. Besides the fact that it's interesting to hear from a perspective from a YouTuber or someone who is in that position that you haven't been able to see from a different angle, then that is definitely interesting because for instance, Casey Neistat is one of those people that I don't agree with a lot of things he says or does because of the fact that he does things differently, which is cool and it definitely works for him. It is really interesting to see his point of view with how things work. Same way that I don't agree with a lot of things that what's his name? I forgot him. But there are a couple of like big name creators that I absolutely don't agree with their kind of business, but it works for them. Just because of the fact that I have a different view on things. And unfortunately, a lot of the things that they talk about don't apply to someone like me or to us in general. So if you want to go to VidCon for just attending panels and to learn new things, make sure you pick panels where you know who's on the panel. And I think most of the times they actually had like names next to them, or all of the times. Make sure you pick and choose wisely because... I'm pretty sure after 2 or 3 panels you've heard the same things over and over again from the same kind of creators. Like if you're watching Freddie Wong, who has done talks all the time, he will say the exact same thing in a different panel that he does the second time. So what doesn't apply to us? Well, a lot of them are talking about like really big brand stuff or talking about like really crazy... Okay, I think we should be back now. Yes, I think we're back. Let me know really quick in the chat what was the last thing we talked about. What was the last thing we said? Because it's kind of hard to know because it takes about a minute after we saw it going down.
So you yesterday mentioned I should go fully blonde, something like this.
Yeah,
Or
I like that.
I could go brown, something like this.
I don't like that. It's weird. I know that I got to know you with like browner hair, but I don't like that.
Why? I
don't like it.
Isn't it awesome that I can just turn my hair color into brown all of a sudden?
Yeah.
And whoop, back to blonde. I like it.
Yeah. What was the last thing we talked about, by the way? Because I
don't know.
Because here's the thing: the second that I don't talk, I forget what I was talking.
Things that don't apply to you.
Okay,
what they're
yeah,
talking about at VidCon.
Okay, so yeah, one of the before I start over from the sketch, of course. So let's do a short recap of what I did say. Is that we are daily vloggers right now. The content that I make is daily. So, for instance, things like how to like best upload your footage with all the cool trends and stuff. We don't do trends. Otherwise, we do a completely different thing, and that's not what I'm going for. We don't have a big company with employees doing stuff for us, so
no,
that's already ruled out right now. I mean, and I don't know how to run a company to begin with, so that's something that we are not able to apply to ourselves anyways. Another thing, for instance, is...
No, there were panels like Find Your Style in Vlogging. And
actually a good pick.
Yeah.
Okay, I actually,
Ross
weirdly
was
enough,
good.
I like Ross. I don't know why.
Anyways, the panel turned out to be really negative because, I mean, Ellie with her history in the daily vlogs, and so I understand where everybody of them came from.
Yeah.
When they said, like, vlogging and doing videos and stuff has been done on YouTube, there is nothing new. And if someone says he can't do anything, that's because it's already been done. Everything has been done.
Yeah.
I disagree with that, but right now I don't know what's the new cool thing is that's coming, but I know it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I always bring the example 1920.
Yes, Ross Everett.
Yeah, 1920 people said everything was invented. No, computers, whatever, stuff we're using today, stuff which created so many jobs wasn't even thought of, you know? So we can't actually say vlogging, we have done everything.
No.
Plus we are daily vloggers. Anyways, the panel was rather like negative, considering not for us because we knew what they are talking about.
Yeah.
It's just like that mutual feeling you could have swapped them for us on the stage. I mean, if people knew us, we would probably sit up there and would have said the same stuff. And there was another creator thing where they actually were talking about working alone or working in a team, where you had Freddie W, Strawberry 17, people like that. They actually work in teams now because they have their own company, production company, whatever, and they produce
make enough
content.
revenue to do that. Yeah.
That panel was way more positive, and they talked about things and struggles they had, but it was nothing new. It didn't give me any value. It was just nice to see them interact.
Yeah.
But
that's usually the only reason why I would go to panels.
For us,
because
the creator panels didn't have an additional value. Mm-hmm. There was one thing which was the creator keynote. It was creator keynote.
The creator keynote.
Yeah. It was nice seeing the people on stage.
But they didn't have anything to add in value.
What we know already.
Yeah.
It inspired, for example, Michael Buckley, who actually took notes and made a video later. It was hilarious. I mean, he did it more for show, but I think
he was doing it for show.
He did it for show for the beginning, but when he was home, because, well, he went through a divorce and whatever, blah, blah. He lost his shit, I think, last year in November, December, something like that. I was watching his videos and he was about to quit YouTube, I think, and try to come back and not and whatever. So I think for him, it actually gave him the boost and inspired him, because when people say things like, there's always an audience for you, it doesn't matter what you do, and sometimes the niche actually becomes mainstream, stuff like that. Whatever. I actually filmed a lot of things and I could put them in a video, and they are really inspiring, but not in the state we are. But if I was in a different state, they would totally be like, yes, this is what I needed to make videos. Yeah. But because we too have a different situation where we have to figure out other stupid life stuff, it doesn't inspire us to make videos right now, because we don't have the capacity to actually use the inspiration and do something. So we are kind of with a shield around us right now, I guess.
But don't get me wrong.
It was really like an inspirational talks. So that was good. I'm just saying it just didn't work for us in that case.
The only thing I didn't like, and I will probably come off as an asshole about that, was I don't know her name because I've never seen or heard about her before. It was a lesbian black woman who I think she sings. I think she does because she was talking about having a song.
I think she has comedy.
Or something along those lines. And the only thing I don't like about these kinds of things where they ask someone to talk about something that they do, and then basically because she said this, and they had a rehearsal in the morning, so that made it even weirder, was the fact that she said, I had a speech, I ripped it up because basically she was shit-talking everyone else who did have something prepared, which I don't really like to begin with, about the fact that it wasn't real enough, and that she all of a sudden took like a social warrior stance about wanting more black people or more black creators featured on VidCon stuff or something like that.
Oh yeah, which, heartbeat.
Yes, I can totally see that, which is absolutely cool. But first off, I'm white, so when I say, yay, it's being seen negative regardless of what I do. I'm a guy. I'm heterosexual, so there's absolutely no point I can take from that.
For me, it doesn't matter
and come out good.
The thing is, for me, it doesn't matter what skin color, what race, whatever gender. I'm actually seriously annoyed about the hey, I'm gay videos, or hey, I'm bisexual. Yeah. I need to out myself on YouTube now. I don't give a fuck. I'm not outing myself as a heterosexual, I guess.
Which I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a very smart move to do, but it's one of those things like, okay, yeah, we know you're gay now. Okay, yay, public.
Or we all knew you don't have to out yourself, but it's nice that you found your way. But it's not like that you have to announce it to the world all of a sudden because everybody does it. It's like, we know, it's fine. We accept you how you are. We like the person.
But it was one of those very awkward moments in a room full of people who were maybe, let's say, 60% white people. Had to force clap, basically in order to just make sure that she left the stage, because that was like she was nearing I'm not sure who was there or even had seen the panel or if it was broadcast or not, but it was on the edge of being so awkward that I'm like, she's going to get removed from stage if she continues on further than that, because that she was basically making it seem as if she was being like a wild warrior for a cause and a rebel. Well, she was basically also mentioning, like, I'm good friends with John and Hank, so I think I can do it, basically. That's what it came down to. Instead of actually giving a speech or actually giving a talk about something that would help or make it more interesting, because I absolutely love what, for instance, Hannah Hart does with her stuff, because other than the fact that I think she's openly gay, and we all knew it for a really long time before she even mentioned it or acknowledged it in like her videos. She's an absolute cool person. She's hilarious, in my opinion, because I've been subscribed to her for a long, long time, because I love what she does, and her style it really works for her. But yeah, I don't really know how to react to that kind of stuff, because
it's just like
I'm socially awkward to begin with.
There are places to kind of say things, and there are other places. That was not
the space to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, that was definitely not the moment. The moment to do it, and I'm not sure if Michael Buckley was the same way reacting to what I wanted to react to if I was in that position, like, yay, okay, let's go to the next person, because it's kind of awkward. I don't know what to say about this thing. I don't know. It's one of those things that I don't know what to talk about. But other than that,
that's why I'm like, creator nice, but I think if we would go back as a guest would be awesome, which might not happen next year again, because every year we're like, next year it's gonna happen, but whatever. Anyways, so I think industry has gained so much more, so we actually could think about if we would go for the industry pass, because they actually announce new things on YouTube, new strategies on YouTube. They have partners there. They do hand out like cameras and stuff for free, and they have cool other like launches, and you can go to parties and stuff like that. So you have way more like networking opportunities also with brands and other creators, and it's just better, I guess. A creator is something like you also could be a fangirl.
Kitty Cam is back.
Yay. You could also be a fangirl, buy a creator pass, and just stalk.
Yeah, that's pretty much because the only people who had a creator or had a industry pass were adults or people with a company with like a booth there or something, or maybe like one or two creators that were like, might as well just spend an additional money. I think that you got like the early bird. You could get it a little bit, a little bit cheaper, but yeah, 90% of people who were under 18 and had an industry badge all bought it in order to hope in hopes to stalk a YouTuber that they could see. Well, the majority of YouTubers who were actually walking were just walking on the creative floor, which is funny because that's where most of the panels happened anyways with creators. But yeah, it was interesting.
Then again, we had the possibility to actually attend a couple of parties.
Oh yeah, parties. I'm not a party guy, but
no,
that's the problem. That's the biggest problem I have.
The thing is, we actually saw a couple of people we know, so it was okay being there. But besides that, it's just like I'm not sure why people aren't sick and tired of the type of parties because they always have the same people and the weird energies between each other. You know?
You have you have four groups of people. You have the people who are part of like the industry part who are invited to the party just to socialize and to get to know it a little bit. Then you have the people who are invited who are creators, YouTubers, and so on. People who are interesting enough to be invited, basically to entertain each other and the industry people. Then you have people like us who somehow managed to get in by having just the right contacts, and most of them we didn't even ask for it. Half the invites that we went to, but we just happened to be in the right place and time. Like, hey, you guys want to come along? Yeah, sure, why not? I don't care. That's fine. So we will fall into the weird category of industry / creative people because why not? And then you have the fourth category. Those are mostly teenagers who somehow weaseled themselves or talked themselves through security and managed to get in and don't belong there whatsoever. And the second they come in, they don't know what to do.
And the thing
That's so funny to me. They have because they don't want to talk to any of the creators because they're scared of talking to them, and the creators are like, fuck off, I don't want to talk to you.
What's even weirder with the whole alcohol policy in America,
normally
they shouldn't be in there because people without...
if there's liquor, you're not allowed in the party.
You're not allowed to be in bars.
Yeah.
And they gave out free booze and stuff, and the parents weren't with their kids. I'm just saying.
Interesting.
So, I don't care. They wouldn't serve them, but I'm just saying, normally in America...
Well, in this case, for instance, like the full screen pool party was one of the last ones we attended. Well, it actually has had wristbands showing if you were drinking or not, or if you were of age.
That is true.
They didn't ask for my ID, so it's more interesting too, but I mean, I guess they could see.
For the creator thing, yes, you could network. But for example, I was on the creator. There's less people, so you have the community level, which is the ground floor, crazy, fango, whatever. The creator level, and above was the industry level. So on the creator level, sometimes you saw someone you know from YouTube. For example, Trisha walked past us, and I'm like, oh my god, she's wearing a Game of Thrones dress. I have to talk to her. And I was like, I don't want to interrupt her. I don't want to disturb her. She was, I think, with her manager or whatever. So
I think they were shooting something before that.
No, I think they were going over the schedule or whatever. So they walked to the end.
Or her producer,
yeah. Far, far away from everybody, just to rest or whatever. And I felt so bad. I was like, I can't let this opportunity slide, so I got up and actually talked to her quick. She's super nice and everything, but I feel bad actually approaching people. And someone tweeted me and was like, you should have talked to Felicia Day because she was standing next to me at the party. And the thing is, when you're at those industry parties, it's the really energy loud. It's really loud, but the energy there is you don't want to talk to people, you don't or you don't want to interrupt people or like get in their sphere or whatever. I can't explain it. It's almost like high school. You don't want to do that.
Well, here's the thing, like the people who get invited usually get invited by being in the same kind of group. Mm-hmm. Like you all see the exact same group of people move across parties, and they're not really parties, if I'm honest. They're just loud music usually. There's free booze, and the only reason why most people show up is because of free booze, by the way. But you can tell that no one really wants to be there half the time. They just have to show up in order to say, like, oh, yeah, shut my face. Yeah. For instance, one of the other things, like our friend Olga K is one of those people who just very honest and said like, I don't want to go to this thing, but I have to. And she was like, I think she was even asking if we wanted to just come along in order to entertain her a little bit, because you could tell she's so tired from all the things she's doing.
She's way too busy.
It is. I have to say, I admire her for the fact that she does so many things, and she's able to maintain that level for so long already.
The first day we met her on the first day of VidCon, and she was already over it, basically. But because we are friends, she basically let her guard down, and she was like, oh my god, bravo. Yeah, she was. But if you see her in like official events or
she looks happy
on stage,
and happy too.
She pulls herself together and is all happy, and her Olga K self.
Yep.
So, but you see
tired.
it. She is tired. She needs a vacation.
Yeah. But those kinds of things. I think we had something for Maker, but we decided not to go because of one. The second that we left, we also heard people tweeting like, yeah, they're basically turning on, like, even people who got invited or RSVP'd, as they call it, they were turning those people away because I think, how many people? Like 1,500?
1,500 people RSVP'd, so the invitation got out somehow. And
like, on average, the parties allow maybe 200 people to 300 max because the size. Yeah. It was crazy. It was
so we just packed our stuff and went to Vegas.
Yeah, we basically drove and I made a miscalculation. I thought it was longer and we would have been able to stop more. But we made like a stops in like the city before actual Vegas, which is like a 30-minute ride from Vegas airport. We went for some food. I ended up gambling. Well, I mean, I considered it gambling because, well, I don't gamble ever. Or I've never gambled before into the degree that I actually put money into a slot and got money back. Ever. But I made some money, so that's good. Which was funny because...
And who told you where to gamble?
Well, I mean, I knew about going to the bathrooms, but you reinforced by saying it again. Yeah. I put in like $2. So we made a little rule because I'm fairly easy when it comes to stopping with stuff.
I'm not.
Because I'm like, okay, I'm cashing it, I'm good. We each had $5, like cash still from something. So we just divided $5 in cash each. And I said, like, we just put in $5 each. We'll see where it goes and see how long it plays. If we can play for 14 minutes, then that's cool. But as soon as you go... That's my personal opinion. The second you go over your amount that you already spent, cash out, and you're good. Or at least stop there and go to a different thing.
Well, as soon as you win in a slot machine, you have to move machines anyways.
Yeah, pretty much that's like an unwritten rule. So I put in $2 worth of money in order to gamble. It was like the quarter machine, like quarter slot machines next to the bathroom. And I think like on my fourth... spin or roll or however you call it, I got the mini jackpot thing that that machine has. It was not crazy much, but it was enough for me to directly fuck.
Yeah, he just wanted to gamble his whatever $50 or $75 he wanted to gamble.
Who? What?
Josh.
Oh yeah, Josh was like, he wanted to gamble in Vegas when we were there, but he didn't because we just wanted to walk and things been planned out, so we basically left before we did. And when we stopped, we had at least like 6 hours still before we had to fly, or before we had to be at the airport before flying. It was a lot of time still. Doesn't matter.
4 hours.
Yeah. So we stopped there and he went. I know it was $75. He said like if I win something, then that's cool. If I lose, like $75 can get you a long way if you just sit down on your ass and just play some slot machines and you just go around. I think he lost everything. I'm not sure, but that's...
I don't know. He never talked about it.
Well, he didn't talk about it, but...
at least not to us. I haven't watched that yet.
When I was standing behind him, I told him 4 or 5 times to cash out because he made a pretty decent money back. But he kept sitting at the same machine, so that's his loss, I guess.
Well, he wanted to play, otherwise...
Yeah, I agree.
So,
and I'm not good enough at gambling whatsoever to go to actual tables that I have to interact with people with. And also, I don't understand how 90% of slot machines work.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're so all the electronics ones that have like crazy graphics and stuff.
And then you have extra games and
Like,
whatever. It's just confusing.
It's like stuff you win some like you don't win much usually. It's like like in the 10 cent range usually, or like maybe like $1 or $2, which is a lot already if you win something.
Mm-hmm.
And usually you already lose $4 or $5 before you hit something like that. Yeah, I don't like it was crazy. He was sitting behind a machine that had, I think, 6 rows. And for somehow he won stuff without me understanding. I did not understand how the thing worked.
They have one slot machine. It's technically not a slot machine. It's like, yeah, I'm talking about that.
Yeah, it's that the ferry
like
thing, right?
Yeah. There are ferries on there, and it has probably like 24 visible fields.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no idea how you can win. Sometimes if similar fairies showed up, you won something.
Yeah,
sometimes there was a mushroom. Sometimes there was. It's really confusing.
And if you hit something very specific, there was like some bonus game that
bonus game
actually
didn't
he won.
make you money only when
If
you
he
hit
didn't,
the bonus game.
I'm not sure how much he put in there, but if he had stopped the second that machine had hit, I think he won like $50.
Yeah.
And that was like one of those games where I think it's like five rolls of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it basically, if you basically remove tiles by every spin, like an X amount of. So basically, if you had removed the entire thing, you would win a jackpot. Of course, you would never win that, but there was like the mini in between thing, and he won $50 back, and I was like, cash the fuck out because you have to. I'm sorry for my language, but you have to. And it's like, no, we'll just see. And he played again, and like after 5 minutes, he lost the equivalent amount that he won, and I was just. I don't get that. And she was like, just let me play a little bit more. After I cashed out, I was like, you can get like $5 more. If you lose that, you're done. Okay, you're done after that.
Well.
But yeah, I have no problems. Maybe it's because I grew up like that more or less. Because my inner feeling says, gamble more, because maybe I win more money. But my logic says, knowing from experience, you will not make that money more unless you go to like the craps type things or let's see, there we go, unless you do more actual card game stuff, which I am not good at whatsoever. So I was like, no, I'm good. I made a gigantic profit of the $2 that I put in, so I'm good. Yeah, it's over there. Look. It's chosen there.
How did it adjust just now?
I did.
How?
I did.
How?
I touched it.
When?
In between.
Okay. To go back to our current situation, even though you don't want to talk about it, there are a couple of things people don't know and keep asking us. For example, why don't you apply for that and that job? Why don't you do blah blah? There is an opening in my company for that. The thing is, my visa is valid for video production. And if it's not video production, it can't be taken over. As far as we know. Yeah. If you're a lawyer and can tell us it's different and I can just work at Starbucks, for example, let me know. But I don't think that's the case.
No.
So, that's number one. Only that, and that's it. And that's why I'm so annoyed when the salespeople send me stuff without even reading my resume. Okay, I think the kiddies are more interesting now. What's gonna happen?
I don't know. Either like one of their little gay fights that they do.
I need the kitty here, and the kitty is sitting here. Finn, you're blue. Look how he's sitting.
But yeah.
What's the other question?
Well, the only thing that we don't
can't found a company.
Yeah.
Just like that.
So
We need an established company to take over the visa.
Mm-hmm.
We would move basically anywhere in America.
Now, yeah.
What else? September's our deadline.
Yep.
Right now, I'm not sure if we are going to DragonCon because if we have to leave, we don't have money, and it would really suck because I was looking really forward to DragonCon.
Yeah.
So, ow! Stop biting me. I'm not biting you.
Wow, he really puts his teeth in there, didn't he?
Look at the nails.
Yeah, his nails. I have to cut their nails too. I have to maintain them.
Do you guys have any other questions? Without bringing Jurre down, because I actually want to talk about
we've been lecturing for about an hour, so I would like to slowly ramp it down to.
That's okay, guys. If you have any questions, now's the time to leave them in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't need to be about any topics we just talked
Next
about.
week, I want to come up with some little games that we can play to also entertain. So,
Sounds good.
We'll make it more announced next week. I think next week we don't have anything special, so we'll live stream.
Oh, by the way, we met a couple of people at VidCon, which was really awesome, that lived in the area and just came for us.
Oh yeah, I like that.
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, for those who did show up or managed to say hi, it was fun.
And thanks for coming up, because some people just stand in the corner creeping.
I think
people who come up.
I think we educated you guys in such a degree that you know that I absolutely retreat back into my little shell if you go all crazy, which is good because at least you know that we're just as normal as most people are, but we're not normal to the degree that we're just as social awkward because we don't have anything to say at that point other than what we're doing at that spot. So if we actually managed to talk to a couple of people who showed up who were having an actual dialogue with us, which I have to admit, which is, by the way, if you ever talk to anyone like a YouTuber or anything, it is awkward for both situations, for both parties in this case. Neither of us knows what to say. So if you come up with something to a topic or thing you want to talk about with us, for instance, camera related things, I have hours of monologue that I can talk to you about.
Okay, here's a question. How was the beach in California? Looks like Josh and Jurre had a blast in the ocean.
Weirdly enough, I kind of liked it.
Oh, I love Venice Beach. I never go in the water normally, but I love Venice Beach.
Weirdly enough, the water was not bad this time.
Plus, Josh was actually not allowed to go in the water there.
Here was the thing. Josh wanted to swim in the ocean with his GoPro, but he just wanted to swim in the ocean because he never had been to Venice Beach, of course, before. And I actually have had, I'm trying to count, at least 8 years of rescue swimming, basically lifeguard equivalent, but the actual profession of being a professional rescue swimmer.
He tried it basically on me, what he still knows. Well, which was fun. We were never in the pool together before. It was the first time.
It's been a really long time since I've done any of the actual positions and moves in order to save someone.
That sounds so dirty, by the way.
I know it does.
Nah. Didn't want to talk about it.
I was almost...
You pull your moves on me.
I would not have done it on Josh because I would have probably had to pay for dinner first, because they're very intimate if you're not actually trying to save someone. But I'm certified for saving people, basically, in the water. I wouldn't just jump in places that I don't know, because that's one of the first things that they teach you. Try to avoid jumping into water if you don't have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, besides that fact, when I was standing at the beach line, the water line, I already told him, don't go in the water too deep, because if you don't know your strength, regardless of how good of a swimmer you think you are, if you go just deep enough and a wave hits you, you will be continuously in a cycle of being hit by a wave.
Well, especially because there's I don't know how it's called with our stones and stuff.
Yeah, that was there was a little break line with rocks, so that was the second thing. So over the course of 5 minutes, he managed to get yelled at by a lifeguard, while I already said, dude, don't go too deep, because they will yell at you for going too deep, because it's their job to prevent dumb tourists from drowning. Yeah. And even if you're a professional swimmer, it can happen that you get hit by a wave and you go under, you get tumbled around, and that's an endless cycle, because the ocean doesn't care about you going under. And it's very hard to find the what is up and what is down when you're going down. But yeah, basically he got yelled at, and basically the thing that they said to him was, just go further away, because the rocks, if you hit that's a whole nother problem if that happened. But just in case. But it was kind of funny. I actually enjoyed it. It was nice. Mm-hmm. It was, but also because it was really warm. And kind of nice that the water wasn't as nasty as I thought it would have been. Right. Because of algae and things, I usually have crap in the water. There's this, not even talking about needles and other crap, because that's usually the joke that I make about
he does.
At beaches. You'll find needles, razor blades, and other sharp objects like broken bottles and glass, which is true a lot of times though.
No,
But it's a tourist area, so they will probably look after it a little bit better.
Yeah, but the thing is, Venice Beach and Santa Monica, it's nice.
Yeah,
it's
nice.
never too warm because there's always wind and
That
stuff
day,
going on.
well, it started out fairly nice.
On the beach walk, yes.
Yeah,
but
it became
on the
warmer
beach,
towards the day. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was nice. For me, it's like home. I would totally live there. He wouldn't, but
Nope.
I would.
Well, no, also because it's very expensive. But
If you had the money and you could live in Venice Beach or further up,
I would buy the most expensive apartment that I could find.
But you
that is
would live
up
there.
high from people closed
But you
off.
would live there, so I can go to the beach.
Yes.
Now we have
I
to get
would.
rich.
Yeah. Because of that. But that's the case of a lot of things.
Feedback detected. What the hell?
Shouldn't be. Oh no, that shouldn't be that.
Okay.
Weird. Maybe because I was too loud.
Well, for England, I'm pretty sure we will come back to Europe at some point. Even
Well,
if
if we're going back,
here.
the UK would be a lot easier for us to go there.
I'm
It's
pretty
a lot
sure we
cheaper.
would travel a lot in
Well,
Europe,
let's just
depending
say-
on where we are.
Let's say this: if we have to go back, we'll try to. I want to try to find a way to go back to the US, of course, because I feel more at home here. But that's going to be like a harder thing for
It
a
might
while.
be years before we actually manage to find a solution.
Yeah.
Which sucks. I'm not
So
getting
besides that
younger.
fact, I don't want to think about that right now because it makes me very sad and down. I want to find a way to make some money over the course of a year and save some money up for traveling again. I missed the traveling that we've done in Europe, or just like around Europe places. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the US when it comes to traveling because it's so much easier to travel to a place that is closer by and still get a whole new experience. Yeah.
The thing is, we couldn't travel here because I'm kind of dependent on the job, and I only have 10 days of vacation. Blah blah blah.
But weekends and so on, we like you've seen over the last year, we've done quite some stuff considering. the fact that we wouldn't be able
I mean, going back to Europe isn't all bad, but the thing is, we want to live in America, so there's that.
It's
That
the
being said,
equivalent of
if we're in Europe, I'm pretty sure you will see more of Europe because I definitely want to travel, but we need to find solutions for the kiddies and stuff. So.
Yep. Well, depending on where we go, I would be perfectly fine taking them with me.
No.
Well, if we go to like a very specific place and we're driving, then yes. Well, that's a whole different point. But thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for joining us this week. Next week we'll be back around the same time, probably more or less. If we do live streams, we do it between 5 and 7 p.m. I think it's Eastern time.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, just
US.
like US Eastern time. So that's like one of the 3 time zones, which is the closest to the ocean on our side.
It is our time zone.
Yeah,
And if you
I don't
know
how to
anyone
say
who
that.
needs to or is looking for a video producer, please
Yeah.
send them our way.
I said that earlier already on the fan page. If you know any leads or if you have any suggestions,
Or if you got some time and want to do some monster searching, please.
everything is
I'm
welcome.
already on it.
We're also looking our best to find something, of course. Preferably, I'd like to stay and just move because I'd rather deal with moving to a different state than dealing with moving to a different country right now that is not connected by land. Because otherwise I would have driven all the way back to Europe if we could. If we could, that it will be a long ass drive, but it will be a very, very fun drive, I think. Like a really good road trip, like hardcore. Either way,
Yeah,
we'll
that
be back
would
next
take
week. Make sure to
days.
watch the vlogs from the.
Imagine there was actually a really long bridge from here just across the ocean with
I'm just waiting for that.
IHOPs and Denny's and
I'm just
McDonald's.
waiting for a tunnel or something. I'm just waiting for that. It will happen. It will be like or a tube.
Not now. Mm-mm.
No.
No. Do you know how deep the ocean is in between? They would have to fill it up and.
It's scary. It's deep. I know.
It's more scary than flying.
We've discovered more of the sky than
That's
of the
why
ocean.
we both are not sure if we would actually take a ship to Europe. It's
No,
kind of scary to be in the ocean for 2
before we go,
weeks.
I am not scared of flying because rational thinking makes me say flying is still safer than most of the other things that you can do. Yes, it happens that something goes wrong. Hopefully it never happens to me. I hate turbulence because of the fact that people are absolute bitches when it comes to turbulence and all of a sudden they turn into wusses. Not you, that's something else. it's like you or something that for you is acceptable, but like a grown guy should never be like, oh my god, it's so scary. Well, there's nothing wrong. It's just part of flying. But the only problem I have with flying is I'm stuck in the air. If something goes wrong, gravity will make sure that I may come down.
Do you want to be stuck underneath water? Imagine the whole tunnel breaks.
I know.
You're dead. You're so dead.
That's a whole new level of disaster movie.
That's just anxiety poor. That's what.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that movie with the tunnel?
Don't even want to think about it. Imagine oh my god, climbing into like a cave or something, and the walls are like this, and you barely fit through it, or you have to crawl through it. Another thing? Couldn't do it.
A cruise ship is a whole new level of being stuck somewhere because of the fact that you can only go on the ship and that's it. At least you're allowed to walk around, so that's already good. But I don't like the concept of being in the middle of the ocean, which is a big-ass ocean, by the way, just so you guys know. It's a long trip. It's a 2-week trip at least, usually.
If that's a quick one, yeah.
If it's a direct one, which it usually is. If something goes wrong, you're stuck in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's another level of like personal anxieties that I don't like to think about. But then
if
again,
it's a cruise
maybe
ship,
I love it.
Maybe because they have pools and stuff, so you could do. I actually like that. Let's do a cruise.
Maybe I'll like it. I don't know.
I
have been surprised by the other things that I didn't like beforehand.
I mentioned that in the vlog, which is coming tomorrow, I think. Friend of ours actually said, why not looking for a route that's like on the way back and people don't book it, so it should be cheap to get on it. And then we probably could put our stuff in there.
Yep, we'll see. We'll keep you guys posted, of course, through the vlog, so make sure you watch those. Thank you guys for watching us.
I'm excited now. Can we go on a cruise?
Well, I don't mind going on a cruise, but I don't want to go on a 2-week one if that's okay with you. Can we just start with like a short one, like what Press Record did? But I don't want to go to the Caribbean because I don't care about that place. Can we just go to like Canada and then back?
We can do an Alaskan cruise. I actually want to go to Hawaii.
Yeah.
So we need to stay here, otherwise we'll never be able to go to Hawaii.
Well, guys, have an awesome day. It doesn't matter where you are, as long as you have an awesome day. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Also, kitty cam.